All right, guys, let's talk wrap tools. Today's video, we're going to talk about the basic wrap tools that you need if you're a beginner getting into the wrap industry, or if you're an advanced, maybe these are some tools that you should be using more, or just some ideas of different brands that you want to use. What I'm going to start with is the very, very basics. Is you need a squeegee, and you need a basic squeegee. This isn't the basic squeegee, but it's a squeegee nonetheless. I don't use basic cheap garbage squeegees. This is a Yellow Tools squeegee. This is one of them with a magnet with a banana buffer. That's another topic, is buffers. You need a good buffer. Cheap buffers often tend to scratch your material a lot. I find that banana buffers don't do that. So banana buffers is my go-to buffer. So those are the first two things. You need a good squeegee, and you need a good buffer for that squeegee. So this is another squeegee I use quite a bit, is the Wrap Dragon, also from Yellow Tools. So those guys there. I will talk about some other squeegees and other tools I use. Right now we're going basic. You need a good knife that feels good in your hands, that you can handle well, that doesn't have too much movement in the tip of the blade. It'll make for sloppy cuts. So a good tool, or a good blade, good knife. I use 30-degree blades all the time, whether I'm cutting PPF, cutting wrap, trimming wrap, anything like that. I use a 30-degree blade. It gives me more control. I can do more detailed cuts, stuff like that. So 30-degree blade is my go-to with a nice oval blade. I like how tight these guys move. I like that click. It is a satisfying click. But oval, my go-to. What you guys are looking at on the end here is a wrap tucker from Wrap On Tools. I really enjoy these guys. So happy they invented this and are making these guys for almost any knife that you guys want. So there we go. We got that guy. That's great for, you can go to your cut, put in your blade, and flip it over and tuck. So really good. Which brings us to another thing that you're going to need is different tucking tools. We got these guys here. These are the basics, and then we got this guy that helps us to tuck edges, door edges, fenders, stuff like that. So you're going to need some good basic tucking tools or advanced tucking tools. We're going to go into the advanced section here to talk about that. Since we're talking about tucking tools, we got the wrap axes from the Wrap Institute. These guys are awesome. A lot thinner than these guys. So to get into more difficult spots or thinner areas, these guys are also can be sharp enough to cut the film as you're tucking. So you get it tucked in there. It'll also cut it for you. I don't love that feature. I like to go back in with a knife and cut, but in the right application, it works really well. What I really like these guys for, along with this one guy, this isn't a must, but I really like this. This is a little tip from me, is this little snap-on tool, fully rounded, nice rounded. It's not going to cut your film. It's not going to scratch the paint. This works really good for wrapping like into windshield moldings that are tight. You can get it propped up with this and then tucked with this. Super sick combo. I use it a lot. So that there. And then continuing with the basics is you're going to need a wrap glove. You can use a basic cheap wrap glove off of Amazon, wherever you want to buy your basic cheap wrap glove. I suggest going with a more high-end wrap glove, something like the Ghost glove from Wrap Glove. They come in multiple different colors. Normally I'm just using the white one, but I got a few of the colored ones, so this is one of the green ones from Wrap Glove. That's my go-to, is the Ghost glove from Wrap Glove. Another thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a blade breaker or a blade cage, either one, whatever you want to call it. This is a very cheap basic one. You can get really cool, really awesome ones from Wrap On Tools, from Yellow Tools. There's a couple different brands that sell really cool ones and really good advanced. Probably a little bit more money, but they're probably worth it if you think about it. Probably going to last a lot longer than this cheap thing. The point of a blade cage is not leaving broken blades everywhere, and to be able to easily, quickly snap the blade, keep it safe. It's not laying around the shop floor. You're not having your coworkers put their hand down on the floor somewhere, or you just snap the blade and now it's going into their hand and you're sending them to the emergency room. You don't need that. Get a blade cage or a blade breaker, whatever you want to call it. Good blades, also essential. These are the awful 30-degree blades. That's our go-to here. Another thing is a snitty. Maybe you don't need this. I love them. I know lots of guys that use them, and it's just a good, easy way to cut film. Whether you're cutting backing off of a piece that you've already peeled, you're cutting the backing, but you're right close to a painted surface, it's not going to scratch the paint. It's going to protect that paint. So get yourself one of these guys. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about a heat gun. You need a heat gun. You need a heat source to do wraps, whether that is to stretch, to pre-stretch, post-heat. Post-heating is one of the things that is so important in the wrap industry that I think is very much overlooked in the wrap industry and making a wrap last. If you want a wrap to last, you need to do the proper post-heat. So that's where the heat gun definitely comes into play. And on this heat gun, you will also notice we got this green strap here. This is a strap from Mag Straps so that we can do stuff like that right there. Super awesome. I love this. They're on all my heat guns and get used all the time. Mag Straps also makes little magnets to hold film in position on your vehicle. Really awesome, great product. Check them out. Thing is a tool pouch. Do you need a tool pouch? No. Does it make your life a lot easier? Absolutely. This is my go-to tool pouch. I have a couple of these. I've got one that's set up just for PPF installs and one that is normally, I emptied it out here to show you guys, but is normally set up all for wrap installs. So good tool pouch. That way your tools aren't laying around all over the floor while you're wrapping. You're not having to reach everywhere for them. They're just right there where you need them. There's all kinds of different tool pouches out there, all kinds of different ways you can do it. Some are, you've got these ones you can put your knives and tucking tools on your wrist. That's really cool. I hate stuff on my wrist, so I would never use that. That's why I don't wear watches, but it works for some guys. So check out different options for you and figure out what works best for you. Another thing that I love using to mark stuff before cutting is a China marker. This guy is a marker that it's not actually a marker. It's more of a pencil crayon where I can color or mark something, whatever, and it will rub right off if I don't cut that piece off later. And it's still, that piece that I marked is still on the vehicle. I can go rub that off, no problem, comes off. You'll never know that it was there. So a great way to mark stuff without physically marking it to stay there. So instead of a Sharpie isn't going to come off. This will come off. Another thing is backing cutters. You're absolutely going to want to use backing cutters if you're really doing more than just color change wraps, commercial wraps, stuff like that. You're going to use these guys a lot. So backing cutter, single blade, dual blade, really great product. And then you can always switch out. You can use all kinds of different kinds of squeegees. These are some of them that I have. You know, we got, yeah, there we go. Lots of different squeegees, lots of different knives, lots of different tucking tools that you guys can play with. Just figure out what works best for you. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Sasser Cut, I believe it's called. I've had this thing for quite a few years. This is another Sign Maker Tools, Yellow Tools tool. I bought it from Sign Maker Tools, but I believe it's made by Yellow Tools, as it says right there. Comes in a really nice case, and this guy is great for commercial wraps. Trimming in between door gaps, getting the perfect amount of cut to wrap in between both sides without even having to really think much. Just putting the right pressure on, it'll glide in between that gap and cut the perfect amount off for you. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful for you guys and informative. Obviously there's more shop tools and tools that maybe you don't want to buy, but your shop can buy. And that will be use of everyone in your shop facility, not just you. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more wrap and PPF tips and how-tos. See you guys in the next one.